this is interesting. LA Knight. We don't really
Yeah.
know what's going on with him. So he's currently in contract negotiations with WWE, which when I first heard that, I was like, oh, I guess his contract's expiring soon? No, not even. His contract doesn't expire until July of 2025, but they're still
Hmm.
negotiating with him right now, which is strange. I didn't think they did that 2 years in advance. I guess maybe like if you're a really big star, they do. Like if you're a
It might
Randy
also
Orton or a
be
John Cena.
he might still be on like an NXT contract. So that might be why.
But either way, like so, apparently WWE and LA Knight are very far apart on money. So there is currently a dispute going on, and a lot of people are theorizing because he hasn't signed a new deal yet that they're kind of holding off his push because of the fact that he hasn't signed one. But it's like it's still 2 years away, so I don't necessarily know if that's the case. So
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing with him. It seemed like there's so many different times they could have given him that big push over the past few months, and they just haven't done it because
I
they
say
keep
it
saying
feels
they're
like
waiting
it
for the
feels
right
like
time.
feels like every month there's another reason why his push is on hold.
I'm not
They're waiting
necessarily
till after
against.
this. They're waiting till after this moment, and now it's apparently because of his contract thing. Now they're waiting. They're gonna wait for the push now.
I'm not hating what they're doing with him in the Miz right now, but it's also like I don't know. If his future does seem pretty uncertain. Like I can't tell you like in my head picture what his world title match or like if what his what his WrestleMania match is going to be. I think it's going to be like there's so many different possibilities. So like if Gunther loses the IC title to whoever, I could see Gunther being in the IC title picture.
Mhm.
I can also see him being in the world title picture as well, depending on who the champion is. I can see him do a number of things. Maybe even have a match with Logan Paul. That's a
Yeah,
possibility because they teased that and people were really into LA Knight trashing Logan Paul on the mic.
that's
So
true.
there are multiple possibilities, and people talk about a match with Cena as well. They're actually been teasing that a little bit lately. So I mean, they could do that during his current SmackDown run. They could end it with LA Knight going over Cena. Who knows? But I don't know. It seems like I feel like he should have won the briefcase in my opinion. I'm not against Damian Priest or anything like that, but I just think it was LA Knight seems like the obvious choice.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with LA Knight. They want to push him, but they don't know what they want to do with him outside of
Yeah,
they know that he's over.
I don't know.
Like,
I think ultimately he's getting, in my opinion, I didn't want him to win the briefcase. Not because I don't like LA Knight. It's because I don't agree with just getting the cheap pop for the sake of the pop. Is
I
that
completely agree with that. Like, that's what you want to do. You want to make
no,
the crowd happy.
but
Because
you
eventually
want
it's going to
something
go to a
that's
point
sustainable. You
where
want it to be
people,
sustainable though.
but there's going to be
And it
so
would
many
have been
times where
because
they
it's
could
going to
have.
eventually, like they always do. It gets to the point where they do it too late and no one gives a shit
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like with Goldberg, when he could have won the world title against Triple H at a certain point, but then they kept waiting and waiting and waiting to pull the trigger. By the time he did win the world title, people didn't really care as much.
Yeah,
So I think the same
But
exactly.
thing might happen with
that's it.
LA Knight.
And that's the sense of bad booking. Right now, LA Knight though, they're continuing to keep him in like the spotlight and stuff for that reason. I mean, I'm not sure now, 'cause like I said, I don't, like I've said before, I don't really watch Raw or SmackDown, but like they've had him with the program with the Miz and stuff to keep him up. So that way, there's people are keeping him in their mind and stuff, and they're still he's still getting reaction, he's still getting cheers. Where if you give him the Money in the Bank, they always, because they always end up doing this usually with the Money in the Bank, is that the Money in the Bank holder eats like a lot of losses before cashing in the briefcase.
I don't know. Priest is doing pretty well. He's not eating too many losses.
I mean, they also have been using it to make him look kind of stupid with like him and Finn Balor look kind of stupid with it.
True, but I mean he just won the tag title, so he's doing pretty all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
but
he's definitely doing a
I
lot
think
better than Austin Theory as Money in the Bank holder. That's for sure.
that is also true. I do think that Damian Priest was the right choice overall because the Money in the Bank helped to push along the Judgment Day dissension storyline, where
Which I'm not honestly a fan of that story because JD's a part of that, and I couldn't
Yeah,
give less of
I
a shit about
completely agree
him.
with you there.
And they're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
keep
totally
teasing
agree.
it. Probably they're gonna have a blow off match at WrestleMania, so they're gonna just keep like pushing it off until April, which is like 7 months from now. And yeah, I just think it's like, do it or don't do it. Stop fucking teasing it every week for months and months and months and months and months, because you know they're not going to do it anytime soon, especially with the Bloodline gone. They want another big faction still in the picture.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not a fan of that story, in my opinion.
I was a fan of it until the JD stuff started getting involved.
Yeah, because JD sucks.
Yeah, like
He
I was
does.
okay with it, especially when they were teasing the potential of Finn winning the world title, and then it's like, oh, will Priest cash in on Finn Balor though instead? Like that's made it, in my opinion, a little more entertaining. But yeah, then they started adding in JD. Now there's like people are theorizing that Finn and JD plan to steal the contract.
What?
Priest's
Oh yeah, because
briefcase.
people are saying that they took the contract out of the briefcase. Which, first off, when
It's
have you
not how
ever
the Money in
seen?
the Bank
Even,
works.
even if it is, when have you ever seen a ref open up the briefcase to check to make sure the contract was in there before letting the match
That's
happen?
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they mentioned the contract thing, and like when the Miz and Otis were feuding over the briefcase, and John Morrison stole the briefcase and stuff, and Miz even said, he's like, just because you stole the briefcase doesn't mean you're the Money in the Bank holder, right? And he only stole it so that way they could get a lawyer to look at the contract and find a loophole in it. Which
Yeah, I
actually
remember
was
that.
smart, being a villain and actually being smart, kind of. They still failed at doing that
Like-
until the Miz won it, but
Like,
Like, at
here's the
least they-
thing. If that's the story they're going with, it'd be a cool one-time thing. But then every year now, what's stopping someone from just knocking out the guy with the briefcase and taking it? If that's like
exactly.
If
I also
that's what
hope
they're
they
gonna go
never
with
do
with
the
it.
whole cash in on a mid-card title again, because that's just no.
Yeah.
I think in the right situation, it can
It can
work. Like
work.
right now, let's just say someone had the briefcase and they wanted to fucking cash in on Gunther. I think that could work because this
It wouldn't
fucking
work
dude-
because he's the longest reigning champion. Him fucking losing it to a cash in would be lame as hell.
But like
No,
that'd be like
they-
one way to do it. Like show that
They
like
also
he
can
doesn't
leave-
lose in like it doesn't make him look weak. Is basically what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
But he
Yeah,
should.
like,
that should
imagine-
be. He should lose clean though. I think if he's.
oh,
Gonna lose
I
the
know,
IC
I
title.
agree. I'm just saying
Right.
like it
But
would
that
at least
also
make a
would-
lot more sense. Is all I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
get what
mind
you're
it in a
saying, yeah.
situation like that.
Yeah, it would have looked, for instance, better if, like, right after the Chad Gable match on Raw, if Priest would have ran out, clocked Gunther with the briefcase, and cashed in, it would have been a big moment. Great heel heat for Priest. Kind of also would have been the turned Imperium babyface against Judgment Day, because Priest just pulled the rug pretty much right out from Gunther right as he's about to cross the finish line for the longest reigning IC championship, if that would have happened on that episode of Raw. But it didn't. But that could have, in my opinion, would have worked, set up a pretty, potentially a fun feud for them, but
So I'm gonna ask you guys this then: if you guys
Yeah.
had to bet money, A, do you think LA Knight's gonna re-sign with WWE? And B, do you think
Yes.
that he's eventually gonna get that main event push and be in a world title match?
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I I hope like but I hope they don't wait too long is all I like that's my big thing. Like don't do it when no one gives a shit anymore like they always do.
I think it'll be an interesting test for LA Knight and see if he actually has longevity to him, because they
That's
were doing
also
the
true.
same
Let's-
shit to Daniel Bryan and he still was over as hell consistently for months and months and months and months and months.
That is true.
I mean,
So
honestly,
maybe
even like more recent thing, like Cody lost at Mania, but Cody
he's still over.
his popularity
yeah,
did
that's-
not
that's a good
diminish
point.
at
He is
all.
the top
And I-
babyface in the company right now, and people
he
did not expect
surprisingly
that.
he has not lost any popularity. The crowd has not turned on him
No.
yet.
No, and I think that's why it now cements, like, if he wins the title at Mania 40, I think he's gonna.
He's not.
If he does, though, I think it's gonna put him in a much better position than a lot of baby faces after they win the title. That's just the biggest issue, is that it's with all wrestling, and it's not just a WWE issue. It's every professional wrestling company's issue. Is baby faces are so much more entertaining when they're chasing the title than they are once they won the title. Usually,
Oh yeah, well, it's not even so much that they're more entertaining. It's no company, especially WWE though. They never know how
Yes.
to book a good face champion.
yeah. Like
Honestly, I don't
it's
think
all-
they care about the reaction as much as they see the merch moving that LA Knight's doing right now, and they're like,
Oh, for
maybe
sure.
we need to do something here. I mean,
Yeah.
money talks, first and foremost.
Right. Like, I could see them doing it, and, like, I definitely think if he re-signs, he'll definitely get a world title and a main event push, because there's two world titles right now. There's 2 slots potentially to get a main event match and stuff. I do think he'll do it. If they don't go Gunther at the Rumble, I could see them maybe giving LA Knight the Rumble win to fight for the world title instead of the Undisputed Championship.
Do you think
See,
that
like-
would be against Seth Rollins, or who, if that's the case? Because I don't think they would do face versus face. I mean, maybe they would, but I don't know.
It depends if they.
I mean, they could turn Seth heel.
They could turn LA Knight heel as well.
They're
but I
not
don't
going to
think
turn LA Knight heel, especially like
They can't.
one. I don't think the crowd would boo him
No, they
currently
definitely
with how
wouldn't.
over he is, and it wouldn't make sense because they just made him this over guy, and then they're going to turn him heel. Like, I mean,
They
I
can
guess
even
that
have
is
him, like-
WWE for you.
They
but
can have him beat the shit out of, like, Sami Zayn, and they'll still cheer him at this point.
probably, honestly.
So, I mean, you guys know I predicted it was going to be Punk to win the Rumble, so I don't think he's going to win the Rumble. I think he would probably have a match with, I don't even know. He's on SmackDown, right? It's hard to tell because they keep
Yeah.
they keep
He
switching.
he is technically on SmackDown.
So
but-
maybe the most likely, like if you were going to put money on the table, U.S. title win, because he still hasn't won a singles
Yeah,
title
that would-
yet, so that would be a big
make
moment,
sense.
I guess.
Like, I could easily see them doing a U.S. title.
That's probably, if I had to bet money, that's what
And, like,
he's
I
gonna do
wouldn't-
at 40.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him winning like the world title, but like there's so many better options in my mind for the world title, like Gunther. That like LA Knight is just like I don't care enough about him in the ring to want to see him win
Yeah.
a world title. Whereas the US title, it's like I don't give a shit about this title. LA Knight can make it entertaining.
He
Yeah.
could elevate the title, I think,
Like-
because the title is so... no one gives a shit about the U.S. title anymore.
Exactly. Like so give LA Knight that title. Like he can do some fun stuff with that title, but I don't think he needs the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, like, I can only see them going world title is if they wanted, like, for instance, Brock Lesnar, for instance, to fight Gunther at Mania, and if they were going to do that match, then I'm all for LA Knight winning a world title while Gunther's predisposed with, Brock, but...
I don't
But
know.
that's
If Seth is still champion, I don't think Seth and LA Knight would be a good enough would be a good match.
That's true. I don't know. I'm for whatever reason, I'm feeling optimistic that they're randomly gonna put the title on Nakamura. I don't know why.
I think Nakamura and LA Knight would be an even worse match.
I agree. I'm a
Potentially.
Nakamura fan, but no, I can't see
Yeah,
that.
like Nakamura, I think his match with Rollins at the last pay-per-view was one of Nakamura's best matches in a while, but like that's not saying much is the thing.
Yeah.
Dude does not put on good matches currently. And
He-
him
he's
putting
getting
on
older.
a good match with LA Knight is just not something I could see happening.
Well, it's worth
Yeah.
noting, LA Knight's not really someone that's known for his ring work, so...
Exactly. He's great like cutting promos. He's great on the mic, but like and he's not a bad wrestler, but
No. But I'm saying, like, you could, like, he's not going to put on a technical clinic
Exactly.
with whoever. Like,
Yeah,
you think,
exactly.
oh,
Like,
LA
you're
Knight
not
and Seth
gonna-
Rollins is going to be a classic. That doesn't...
exactly. It's not I don't think that's going to yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me talk to you.